Yeah, it's really sad what's happened to this.
We're the only idiots here. This is the plus. This is the plus side. Okay, it's Robert Owen here. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I got a slightly different one today in that I decided I would try and contact a famous person. I haven't actually tried to contact any famous people before using my spirit box, mainly because I feel famous people really sort of had enough of a podium in their own life to kind of get their views across while they were alive, and so I try and sort of use this mainly to get the views of people who didn't really have that in life, whose voices might not have been heard. So that's the main reason I've not really sort of tried to contact anybody notable through this thing. But there is a local person who was famous. He died in 1858, so this was a while ago. Our only local celebrity died in Victorian times, but yeah, he is actually quite well known in sort of socialist circles, because he was Robert Owen, who was a famous social reformer, philanthropist, textile manufacturer, and all-round good guy, basically. He's commemorated in a few places in my town. He was born here in Newtown, and he was buried here as well. Most of his life he lived in other places doing other things, and yeah, he's really famous locally. Most people in the UK maybe haven't heard of him, but certainly locally he's a very well-known figure. So I thought it would be interesting to try and see if I could get in contact with him, mainly because in his life he was quite notable as well for being an atheist, which was very unusual in the early 1800s. And towards the end of his life, he became really involved in spiritualism and like communicating with the dead and things like that. They used to do seances and all that sort of thing. So I had a feeling he might be kind of open to spirit boxing and that kind of thing. So my friend Hayley was down for the day. If you've watched my previous vlogs, you've seen some of the adventures I've had with her. She's always entertaining. So I thought we would go to a fairly new memorial that's been made for Robert Owen. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that afterwards, but first I'm just going to recap on some of the history of this guy, just to sort of explain it. I'm reading from Wikipedia here because it's honestly easier. So yeah, he was born in 1771, died in 1858. Robert Owen was a Welsh textile manufacturer, philanthropist, political philosopher and social reformer, and a founder of utopian socialism and the cooperative movement. So yeah, he basically strove to improve factory working conditions, promoted experimental socialistic communities, sought a more collective approach to child rearing, and believed in lifelong education. This was all pretty radical stuff back then, when, you know, most poor children would just have to go to work in factories and things like that, and it was extremely dangerous for them. And he believed in education for all children, and yeah, a very fair society, and he was absolutely ahead of his time in these beliefs. And his work basically led to a lot of the development of how our society is today. The saddest thing really is that he died penniless. For all that he tried to sort of do for society, it didn't seem to bring him much profit in the long run, which is such a shame, but he did so much good, I think. And scrolling down here, I'll try and keep this brief, but just to give a bit of a background on him. Yeah, he set up like this community, I think in the US. I think he travelled over to there at one point, and he's actually set up a community called New Harmony, which I think was supposed to sort of embody his utopian values. It says Owen's utopian communities attracted a mix of people, many with the highest aims. They included vagrants, adventurers, and other reform-minded enthusiasts. In the words of Owen's son, David Dale Owen, they attracted a heterogeneous collection of radicals, enthusiastic devotees to principle, honest latitudinarians, and lazy theorists. I think I would have been a lazy theorist. I mean, I'm reading from Wikipedia, that's how lazy I am. with a sprinkling of unprincipled sharpers thrown in. They sound a lively bunch. So yeah, but unfortunately, these communities of his that were supposed to embody his like fair socialist values of like, you know, art, science, education for all, and, you know, just having free time rather than people expecting to work all the time. It sounds like an ideal world, but apparently it didn't work out because Josiah Warren, a participant at New Harmony, asserted that it was doomed to failure for lack of individual sovereignty and personal property. In describing the community, Warren explained, "We had a world in miniature. We had enacted the French Revolution over again with despairing hearts instead of corpses as a result, so it didn't go well. It appears that it was nature's inherent law of diversity that had conquered us. Our united interests were directly at war with the individualities of persons and circumstances and the instinct of self-preservation." Nothing changes, really. So basically, I think what they were trying to say is that they had all these people together trying to build a better world, but none of them could agree with each other. And ultimately, people's human tendencies towards selfishness and, you know, the wrong kind of people rising to the top ultimately ruined it. And I think you can sort of see a lot of that today still. And this was one of the questions I really wanted to ask him through this. The day before, I'd done a private spirit box session and I said, would Robert Owen talk to me if I go to this memorial? And somebody immediately answered he might. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I need to get some really good questions for this guy, because I really want to do him justice with this. And yeah, one of the questions I did put to him was, you know, do you think that human nature makes these sort of ideals almost impossible because the type of people that inherently crave power are the ones that have the most sort of self-interest? They're not really focusing on making things better for everybody else because it's sort of greed and power that lie at the heart of their ambitions. And I wanted to know what Robert Owen thought of that, and I got an answer. So stay tuned if you're interested to hear about that. So yeah, I took Hayley to, bashing my camera there, bear with me. Yeah, I took Hayley to this memorial, which is 3 years old. It's meant to be rolls of fabric to symbolise his work in the textile industry. Locally, it has become known as the toilet roll for obvious reasons. It's slightly unfortunate, but yeah, I thought I wanted to see what he might make of that. So yeah, this was our little the first investigation that we did with the spirit box next to the toilet roll with Hayley, and then afterwards we went to his grave as well and did another spirit box there. So I'll play you this now. So here we are today in Newtown. It's a very windy day. We got Hayley is back with us again. Say hello. She's carrying various things.
Hi.
And, we are here today at this, which is the Robert Owen Memorial, otherwise otherwise known as the toilet roll, because if you view it from the side, it actually looks very much like a loo roll, but it's actually meant to be rolls of fabric. So yeah, what do you think of it? Interview, what do you think of
bog roll? Bog
roll, verdict.
It doesn't scream fabric, it screams bog roll.
I agree. Memorial to the great toilet roll shortage of 2020. There we go. Well, I want to do a spirit box session here. Oh, it's actually calmed down. So we're having a storm today, but this is the only time Hayley can be here. So there's nobody about, probably because the weather's so bad. And
I'm scared of me.
I wanted to do a little SBox session just to quickly see what Robert Owen thinks of this monstrosity. Whether he approves of it, whether he doesn't. So I'm going to hand the camera to you now, and hopefully don't look too windswept.
You look fine.
It's been super windy. I hope everything can hear okay because it's been super windy. So I think. Sculpture. Get it right close up then they can hear. Have a look at some people. I'm recording this anyway. What do you think of modern society? Robert Owen. Ooh, that's something. What changes would you like to see made in this day and age? Do you approve of modern society? What do you like about it? What do you think needs changing? Do you think that human nature is incompatible with the ideals that you held in life about cooperation and the cooperative movement? Do you think ultimately the wrong kind of people will get into power and that causes the problems in society? Or do you think your vision is something that's particular, is something that could exist? So that was interesting. So there's some people coming, but that was interesting. There was definitely some stuff coming through that. If you want to, we could go on the trail of like Robert Owen and maybe try his grave and other places that may be able to find something. Okay. All right, we'll do that. See you later.
Yes.
So there were some interesting bits in that. I was sort of confused when it said 5-fingered. That was quite clear. But then when I looked, the sculpture itself actually has 5 rolls of fabric on it, so I don't know if it was connected with that. That's kind of random. And then a bit that I'm sure it said stop the boats, which was interesting. Now this may be on the radio a lot at the moment because it's in the political discourse and all that. There was in my town a protest held 2 days before we filmed that about exactly that, about the boats and everything. So I keep this channel completely apolitical. I don't get involved in it, but if the spirits want to, they are free to make their views heard. So this next clip is at Robert Owen's grave, which is where we went straight afterwards, which is at St Mary's Church. Did another spirit box session there. Do stay tuned for the SD card bit afterwards because a lot of it is frustratingly faint and there are answers in there, but often the best responses are the really faint ones, which is very annoying. But if you do turn your volume up when it's playing the SD card part, then you'll hear them.
Hayley deep in thought. She's deep in ponderous thought there. What are you thinking, Hayley?
That's a very poor depiction of me in a bong on that wall.
Seen some graffiti that she says looks like her. Oh dear. Yeah, it's really sad what's happened to this. Alright then, shall we do a spirit box session?
Yes.
Let's make it happen. Alright.
Use me.
Okay.
Give me the camera. Whoa.
Could not be a windier day. At least there'll be nobody around. Okay, something doesn't want me to do this. Oh, the weather is not on my side right now. We're the only idiots here. This is the plus. This is the plus side. Okay, is Robert Owen here? You were interested in spiritualism during your life. Can you talk a little about that? What are your views of the spirit world from the other side? Robert Owen is here. Are there any messages you have for people in 2025?
Exactly.
Anybody else want to come through and talk? Because I don't want to be too noisy in a public place. But that was interesting. There was definitely some stuff coming through that. There was definitely some clear stuff. It sounded like a man as well.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I'm looking forward to checking that when I get home, and the other one as well, to see which one perhaps had the most relevant responses, the one by the grave or the one by the newer sculpture. Just to kind of test my theory as to whether or not we can communicate with them anywhere, or whether being by a grave helps, being by something they had a connection to in life helps, or whether you can be in your own front room and just say anybody there. I think it's I'm doing a lot of experimentation and investigation and trying to find out what works and how to do this better, basically. What did you think of that? Let's go, Hayley. What did you make of that?
I'm pleased we heard something.
Oh yes.
Don't know what they were saying, but
Yeah.
there was something coming through. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably spirits telling us to get out of here, you noisy living. We want to sleep.
And on that note, there we go. We shall go. Yep, that should be on. Let's have a look. Yeah, that first one is on. It's really difficult to see, isn't it? So last time Hayley got good results with the old Geiger counter. So, well, it's not actually a Geiger counter, I should mention. It's a K2, it's an EMF meter. So
Ghostly Geiger counter.
If there are any spirits here, it's not dark enough, I don't think.
No,
to see, but you should see it if it.
I honestly
if you
can't.
tilt it my way a little bit, that's it, so we can see it. There we go.
Well, you can see it. Oh, whoa.
I think so if you touch it, that would set it off. So what you want to do, you want to hold it really still, nice and still. Don't bash it onto anything. Let's go inside here. No sudden movement, no knocking it, because we want to make sure we're doing this the right way. So,
Flashing here a little bit
is it?
for a moment.
Let's have a look.
Maybe it's my heavy feet going dum, dum,
Yeah,
dum,
so
dum.
what we want to do, stay nice and still. If there's any spirits here, you can flash this to let us know that you're here. And Hayley's holding it nice and still. So if that flashes, there shouldn't be anything else potentially a spirit to set that off.
What the camera can't see is I'm dancing around. I'm doing line dancing.
It's Robert Owen here. He liked spirit communication. Because we're by a lot of old headstones here. Some of these are really old. 1802. Are any of the people here headstones these belong to. Oh, someone just buzzed in my ear then. Are any of the people that these headstones belong to here and able to communicate? Tilt it my way a little bit. There we go, so we can just see if anything does happen. Alright, let me see if I can... Not that I don't trust your operation of it, but some of these are so old.
Now I'm free to dance.
There we go. Go mad. But if there are any spirits here, you can affect this. It was strange how it was going off in Brecon Cathedral that day, wasn't it?
Maybe Brecon is full of ghosts.
Yeah. Is Robert Owen here? Are you able to affect this? Just say a little hello to the living. We would really appreciate it. I would be very thankful and grateful if any spirits could set this off. Hayley's misbehaving right now. There we go. Okay, thank you, Hayley. Well, nothing seems to be setting off, so I think we'll call this one quits. It's not really getting anything, is it? Okay. Last chance.
Talk to us.
On a bench in the wind, in a storm. What's the name of this storm? Have they
I actually
named it
don't
yet?
know.
I don't know.
Miss Windy Pants.
Storm Miss Windy Pants.
This is why I don't name the storm.
I don't even know if the viewers can hear me right now because it is that gusty. Oh my god, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Exactly.
So yeah, some really interesting responses there. In the first one as well, when it said "did my best for you," that was quite faint, but I thought that was really interesting as well. But was that Robert Owen coming through saying that you know, despite the failings of everything, he did our best, he did his best for us, which certainly I think achieved a lot, even if it didn't leave him rich at the end of his life. I think certainly he was part of a larger movement that helped progress society forward, so I think his best was more than good enough. And yeah, that was interesting. I did seem to get the answer yes when I was asking the question about does human nature kind of conflict with his utopian ideals, and so he seemed to answer that with yes. It's too faint to hear on the actual recording where I'm asking the question though, which is kind of frustrating, so I don't know if that was in direct response to that question, but it seemed to say yes round about the time that I was asking it, so I can only assume so. But yeah, in the second one as well, I thought there were some very interesting responses there. When I asked about any advice for the living, it said good luck, so that's a direct response. It said as well, those who art in heaven. I keep getting old-fashioned accents and old-fashioned phrasing through this. And again, people that want to insist it's just radio bleed or whatever. Why are they talking like people who are no longer alive? You know, things like that. So I think I probably will do another little session here because I don't know, do you think I can contact Robert Owen in my living room? I'm not sure whether you have to actually be in a place that's connected to that person to connect with them, or whether you can connect with them anywhere. I don't really get very much anyway through this in my living room, but
SBox. Scanning.
Twiddling with the aerial seems to help, so I'm going to record it. Is Robert Owen here? Anything else that you would like to say? Anything else that needs to be said? Oh, listen again. Anybody got any messages? Okay. I don't have to say anything. Any messages for the living to end on? Really quiet again, I think. I won't do this for very long. It's often very quiet when I stay in here. There's something on. Well, I'll just keep it brief. Last chance. Yeah, I get very little whenever I'm doing this on camera, so that's not too surprising. But there's a few bits there, so I'll go back and transcribe that. And as always, there's usually like faint stuff that's underneath. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and let me know what you think in the comments below, or if you heard anything that I missed, do let me know. And yeah, love and light to you all. Stay curious. Bye.